Hi, it's Colette here from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I am here to talk to you about consciousness and the unconscious. So, this week I shared a post, many posts actually, from one of my inspirations whose work I'm currently deeply embedded in, and that's the work of Carl Jung. And he talks about most suffering in the world happens because we are all in the inability to be conscious of our behaviors. Now, when we follow a spiritual path, we like to say that we're conscious, we're becoming conscious. But the truth is that we are vastly, deeply unconscious beings. And by that, I mean that we're very little aware of our behaviors, how we contribute to dark schemes or to disharmony on this planet or to the destruction of this planet. And we would all like as far to say that we are conscious people, we are aware, we are moralistic, we are loving, and we're all of those things that are positive. We like to say all of those things that are positive. But the real work begins when we begin to question the things that we're not aware of about ourselves. And this has been my whole last year's work. I'm coming towards the end of doing a deep psychological exploration of my own self with a Jungian university and school, and under the mentorship of teachers of Jung's work and analysts, psychoanalysts, psychotherapists. And I've been working with my own analysts to deepen in the practices and discover more of my own unconscious workings. So there are many ways we can delve into the unconscious. We work in ways with teachers that help us explore the unconscious mind, those that have delved into their own unconscious mind to discover more about ourselves. I mean, we are aware of certain things about ourselves, but we're vastly, vastly unaware of many, many things about ourselves. So, usually, like I said previously, we like to say that we're positive. We've got very many positive attributes. I might be kind and caring, but everything exists in polarity. And so, where you might say you're caring, you would be very reluctant to say that you're uncaring. And the two cannot exist without one another. So, in my own work, wherever I have tried to, you know, attach the I ams to myself, I am caring, I am kind, I am compassionate, then I've also tried to explore the polarity of that. So where am I not caring? Where am I non-compassionate to people and beings? And when we start to explore the opposites, we begin to become aware of ourselves a little bit more. There's huge resistance into looking at the negative aspects of the self, or how Jung would describe this as the shadow complex. It's actually a living, breathing organism within human beings when we talk about complex that has some, you know, action, some physical movement through one's body. And so it's really good to kind of start to be aware very carefully of where those darker complexes live in you, those darker behaviors. And of course, we then can begin to understand that what we see in the world, the darkness that we wish to separate ourselves from. So, for example, the war that's currently underway at the moment, we like to believe ourselves to be separate from that, that has nothing to do with us. But we cannot believe, if we've done any deeper exploration of ourselves, that we're disconnected from our reality. And in fact, what the world spits out is usually unconscious matter into the collective. So all the recesses of what you don't know about yourself begins to show itself in the world as a way to try to get our attention and say, come on, like you need to work with this. And I shared it this week in my post about war, about intergenerational trauma, and how all of us have come from generations of war in some way or another. In fact, the innateness of man is about war and conflict, is about the connection to the country or to the tribe and defending that till death. And we see that play out in our collective over and over and over again. And so when we start to realize that what we're seeing in the world is a reflection of our own self, we can start to do some deeper work. We can start to really know ourselves rather than just believe ourselves good. So, for example, currently with my women in the 13 Roses, which is a sacred sexuality course, we're looking into our own sexual shadows in the way that we have sold out our sex, the way that our darkened sexuality actually contributes in a bigger way to the collective. And this responsibility that in some way individually we have an impact on the rest of society, on the world, actually makes us more accountable for our behaviors, and that really helps us change. So it's really fascinating work. I want to just, put this out there to give you some food for thought. I always trying to give out transmissions on different archetypes because many of us hold these hidden archetypes within us that can be deeply empowering when you know that this kind of archetype lives within you. Our collective is made up of many archetypes. You only have to watch movies to see the hero, the villain, and they are archetypes. And I like to bring out the archetypes in people in both shadow and light so that they can understand how that archetype works within them and how they can actually bring that archetype into the world, into the powerful, into the magical, into the kind of behaviors that this world needs to see if we're to evolve as humanity. So that's one of the reasons that I love to do archetypal work and to teach archetypal work, because it contributes to allowing people to be more conscious about themselves. I think that, as we begin to evolve, we will start to seek to become more conscious beings. We will seek to understand that we are here to learn about ourselves. We think we know it all already, but man knows very little about himself. And the reason that Jung said consciousness exists is because there is an urge to widen and deepen into ourself. And that is a pull that's in many of us, and many are feeling us it now. To be more conscious brings a deeper, more fulfilling life. It makes us stop drawing in the what we might seem as, the worst parts of our life, or the harder parts of our lives, or the mistakes. When we can draw more consciousness into our life, then our world becomes a better place. We bring the unknowing in, and that helps us shed some light on situations that we're in and why we're drawing certain situations in, why we're not in our power, why the world is behaving as it is all showing us something about ourselves. So, without going on much more, I just want you to drop it into your own questioning. What don't I know about myself? What am I aware of? What am I conscious of that I am? And what is the opposite to that I know about myself? For example, if I'm kind, am I aware of where I'm unkind? And you can start as simply dropping into that unconscious exploration. You can write it down, start doing journals, you can meditate upon the question, you could ask people. And that way you start to learn a little bit more about yourself. And you may be then not so surprised why certain things are being drawn to you, or that your life is flowing in a way that you perhaps don't want to. So I bid you a good day.